tell that way that I was bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the Rumble at Rama, an evening of professional and world championship boxing. All contests this evening are sanctioned by the Ontario Athletic Commission. The entire fight card is organized and promoted by Orion Sports Management and presented by your host, Christina Rama. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very busy evening of boxing, so let's get underway with our first bout of the evening. This contest is scheduled for 6 rounds in the super middleweight division. The 3 judges appointed are as follows: Kelly Zonachuk, William Boodho, and Alan Davis. And in the ring, your referee is Mr. Rocky Zolanchuk. And now, introducing the principals. On my right and in the blue corner, he is wearing the red trunks with the white trim. He has weighed in today at 164 1/4 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding 10 wins, only 1 loss with 1 draw, and 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome from Brossard, Quebec, Canada, Paul Clavette. And his opponent across the ring in the red corner. He is wearing the white trunks with black trim and weighed in this morning at 162 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 8 wins, 2 losses, with 3 wins coming via knockout. Please welcome from Toronto, Stephan El Gato Boy. 6 rounds, super middleweight.
And so this card at Casino Rama, Ontario will get underway with a 6-round bout in the middleweight division with Stephan El Gato Boyd of Toronto against Paul Clavette of Brossard, Quebec. And it will be an interesting event. This is a big event here in Ontario, Canada, and these youngsters will get things underway. Joe Bowen along with Russ Amber at ringside, and this should be a lot of fun.
This is going to be good, and it's going to be good to see somebody like Stephan Boyd back in action. Ontario Boyd taking on a good fighter in Paul Clavette, Joe. And Paul has been a guy who's been busy. You can look by his record. He fights often, 10-1. This is going to be a good matchup in styles as well. I'm looking forward to this.
And round 1 is underway. Stephan Boyd in the white trunks with the black trim, and Paul Clavette in the red trunks with the white trim. 164-pound middleweights. Stop. The third man in the ring is Rocky Zolarnak. Clavette's trying to get busy early.
Yeah, he's trying just to bore his way inside. And Boyd, who's such a good boxer, would be well to stay on the outside and just box him, stay behind that left jab. And you can see Clavette just wants to press the action, get inside, make it a close contact fight, get close, get into that body, and try to work and cut the distance between him and Stephan Boyd.
Boyd has won his last 2 fights. Adam Green and James Walcott. A knockout in the first round of Walcott and a TKO of Green in the third round of a 6-round fight, so he can be busy.
Yeah, and the fight against Green was in Montreal, and he looked excellent in that fight. He hurt Adam Green early in the fight and took him apart. It was a great performance by Stephan Boyd, and he needed to be into action right after that fight. He waited too long to get back into it, so this is his chance right now.
Clavette, meanwhile, has won his last 2 fights against Jan Le Cavalier and Martin Bethune. both by decision in 8-round bouts.
And the Bertium win by Clavette was a big win for him. He went into that fight as an underdog and ended up coming out on top, winning all 8 rounds of the fight as well.
Keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean.
Both fighters trying to establish a little something here in the early going of round 1. We've got about a minute to go in the first round of this undercard bout in the middleweight division. George Cleary, the manager of Paul Clavette, and working the corner as well. Bit of an overhand right there by Clavette. It just glanced Boyd, really didn't do much damage. An uppercut there by Boyd. And to all our troops in Afghanistan and Kandahar, a very big welcome from all of us here in Rama, Ontario, and Casino Rama, who have done an excellent job in getting this venue ready for professional boxing. The first time since, the second time in the history of the casino that they've had it, and they're looking forward to maybe hosting a lot more.
And with the way ticket sales went, I don't think there's a reason why not. This place is going to be sold out tonight for a very big event. And the people are still filing in. The first bout's underway. People are still filing into this place. So that's a great sign.
Put your hands inside. Stop.
The event area houses about 5,500, and you're right, it will be filled, as there is the end of round 1. Second of 6 rounds between Stephan Boyd of Toronto, Ontario, and Paul Clavette of Brossard, Quebec. Round 1 really was quite uneventful, and Clavette trying to press the attack here to start round 2. Kelly Zolnaretsky and William Bodu and Alan Davis, all of Ontario, are the judges for this 6-round bout.
It's going to be a tough fight for Rocky Zolnarchuk to control, because both these guys are. Clavette wants to get on the inside, and Boyd wants to prevent him from working on the inside, so they keep tying each other up, and it's kind of getting sloppy in there, and he's going to have to get in there and make the break quicker, or warn these guys, say, look, you're going to have to throw some shots in here, or I'm going to deduct points from both of you.
Yeah, they've been in that clinch for almost 20 seconds trying to work their way out of it. Really hasn't been a solid shot thrown by either fighter at this point.
Maybe thrown, but certainly not landed.
All right, yeah, all right, good point. Boyd with 8 wins, 3 of them by knockouts, and 2 losses, has fought a total of 10 fights. And Clavette is 10-1-1, and 2 of his victories have come by way of knockout.
Clavette is the one definitely pressing the action and forcing the fight. Boyd sees him coming. He's going to have to nail him coming in, because right now Clavette in this second round is just out hustling him. Nothing hard landing, but he certainly is outworking him.
And he has gotten his way inside. No
that's
question.
Right. He's the one. He's been the aggressor in this second round easily.
Boyd in the white trunks, Clavette in the red. Opening bout of 5 here at Casino Rama
There's the jab and straight shots, Joe, from Stephan Boyd, and that's what he's going to have to use more of. Those. He's got a little height and reach advantage, as you can see, and he's going to have to use it, especially on the outside. Clavette's trying to bore his way in, and he's been successful in boring his way in. But when you come in, you've got to give the guy some shots to get by, and that's the jab and the straight right hand. And Stephan Boyd's just not throwing enough of them.
And it's just the bull in the china shop right here. Clavette is just trying to bull his way into the inside, and he's been pretty successful in doing it, although he hasn't landed anything that's had Boyd in any kind of difficulty at this point. We are 3/4 of the way through round one, or round two, rather. About 10 seconds left in the round. In fact, just 1 second left. And there's the end of round two. Stephan Boyd's corner as he gets some instruction, and trying to throw that jab is something I'm sure they're talking about.
Yeah, they have to. He's got to get that jab working. You'll see right here, Clavette's on the outside, but when Boyd uses the height and reach advantage, there it is. Spear him on the outside, keep him on the outside, drill the straight right hand down the middle. He does that, and he'll control this fight, but right now it's the only time he's done it, and Clavette's been able to get on the inside and just out-hustle him so far.
3 of 6 coming here as we start round 3 from Casino Rama in Rama, Ontario, Canada. A look at how our unofficial scoring has gone. Clavette getting inside with an overhand right that grazed the head of Boyd. Faking that right hand got him inside again, too.
Yeah, and Boyd's just not reacting to it either. That's what he's got to do more of. He's got to get that left hand out there a little bit more, have a little more conviction behind it as well, snap it out there, get the right hand following it up, and try to keep the smaller guy on the outside. Clavette keeps coming in, so the target is definitely there to be hit. You just got to be sure to throw the shots.
There he got a good left jab in on the way in, and Clavette took it on the jaw. Clavette trying to throw a left hand off the break. Boyd with a good left hand there that stung Clavette a bit. Good flurry right above us.
See, that's the thing. You see, Clavette, although not pretty, does put his shots together and does throw, and he's trying to keep a high intensity to the fight. Boyd's going to have to be able to match that and match it with the good straight shots if he wants to keep Clavette off. Otherwise, Clavette's just going to keep boring in on him and jumping in with the shots and throwing combinations. No killer shots, but they're scoring.
Clavette 7 years younger than Stephan Boyd. 24 years of age for the Brossard, Quebec native. And Stephan Boyd, 31 years of age.
See, Boyd's just continually tying Clavette up on the inside, where he could be working, but instead he's just content on tying him up.
And if nothing else, Clavette's getting points on his aggressiveness.
Absolutely, that's right. That's exactly what he's getting it on. Because Boyd is certainly not throwing any punches. All he's worried about is grabbing and hugging and holding Clavette.
About a half minute to go in round 3 here at Casino Rama.
See, the opportunities are there for Boyd to hit Clavette, especially when he's coming in and he's not doing it. And it's Clavette who's working on the inside. Again, Boyd picks off some of that, but no counter shots coming back from him. So you've got to give the exchange advantage to Clavette.
And obviously the more busy of the two fighters. He has really been the aggressor and landed his share. You can hear the official saying, let his hand go in those clinches. That is the end of round 3. 24-year-old Paul Clavette of Brossard, Quebec. I think I've got him ahead in this fight, and it's because of his aggressiveness.
Just his aggressiveness and staying on the inside. And there you see me, it's just because he's just out hustling Stephan Boyd, and Stephan is just not working enough. He's not throwing enough shots. He's not catching Clavette when he's coming in. And here's a warning from the referee, Rocky Zolnichuk, to tell him, you guys better get it on, because right now this hug fest is going to stop. There's the uppercut, and that's what they told him to do in the corner, was throw that uppercut when Clavette comes in.
Yeah, he's coming in low and almost boring in on Boyd, and that would be one way of certainly straightening him up.
Well, for sure it would be. And the fact that he's boring in and getting in means that Boyd isn't doing anything to get out of the way. He's not moving left, he's not moving right, he's not spinning. He's just standing there letting the guy bore in. So, you know, you're partly guilty. If the guy's getting in, you're guilty for letting him get in.
Leave the kitchen door open, you're going to have people in eating your food.
There you go.
Round 4 of 6 in the opening bout of this card at Casino Rama. Rocky Zolnichuk trying to get them separated, and Boyd with a good left hook there that landed. But they've been fewer and far between.
Guys inside holding. Start taking points away.
Here we are. There's the official disciplinary chat. Holding on the inside, and points are going to be taken away.
You just have to make sure that the referee makes the right call when he's on the inside, because Clavette's getting on the inside. He wants to work, but it's Boyd who's grabbing him right away. So you got to be careful when you're going to take those points away that you penalize the right guy.
That time Clavette was caught on the way in. It doesn't deter him by any stretch of the imagination. Good left hook there. Followed up with a right hand by Clavette. Under a minute to go in round 4 of 6.
Now Boyd's starting to put a few shots together. He's being a little more busy this round.
Boyd's last fight was in June of last year.
Yeah, that's certainly.
So there's going to be some ring
rust
on that. And Clavette last fought when he fought Berthiaume in May of this year. So he's the more, if not experienced, he has certainly got a few rounds under him, and Boyd maybe starting to see a little bit more from him here as we get into this bout. Seconds remaining in round 4. Good exchange there at the end of round 4. As we mentioned, Stephan Boyd, maybe a little ring rust after not fighting since June of last year. But a look at what went on here in round 4.
There was the left hook from Boyd on the inside, but this is what it's become. It's become a sloppy fight on the inside, and Zolnichuk is doing his best to warn these guys and tell them, you got to stop holding in there. So these last 2 rounds are going to be really important, I think.
Get the mouthpiece in the right way, that helps. And here we go with round 5 of 6. There's a look at how you've got it scored thus far, Russ Anber. And I don't think I can disagree with you.
Close. You know, I mean, there's not much separating the two. The only thing, Clavette's been the aggressor, I think, a little more in this fight. He's taken it on the inside, but over the last round, and now maybe this round, Boyd seems to be looks like he wants to impose himself a little bit more.
Caught Clavette coming in there with a left hook. While left missing by Clavette. Middleweights, 164 pounds apiece.
Boyd using the jab much better this round and controlling the outside. He's almost backing Clavette up a little bit now, imposing himself a little bit more.
And Clavette's right eye looks a little puffy, too.
Yeah, they look like they banged heads in there,
Yep.
and there's some swelling around the right eye. Doesn't look like it's affecting his vision now, but he certainly has changed from what he has done in the first 4 rounds of the fight where he was coming in. Boyd now, you see, not trying to stay there to get tied up by Clavette. Boyd can work in there, too. I mean, he has opportunities to work in there, and he's just not doing it on the inside. He's just kind of remaining passive when he gets in there, and he can work. I mean, he's just got to drop that back foot behind him, dig some hard shots to the body.
Looked like he was trying it right there off the break.
See, he can work right there. Good shot
Good
underneath.
uppercut there, yep. Left hand landed right on the button. But a minute to go here in round number 5. Boyd missed with a right hook there as Clavette tried to move in. Half a minute or so left here in round number 5. And we've got a time.
Again.
Warning about the heads, just something that you talked about.
See, again, and the referee again warning them about taking points away. At some point, Rocky's going to have to impose himself as well and say, okay, guys, you're not listening to my orders. You're not doing what I say. I'm going to have to take points away. Now, Boyd should answer back on the inside. I mean, he has. Yep. There's no danger right there for him to work on the inside.
Good flurry here, but the haymakers missed. Just seconds remaining, and there is the end of round 5. Yep. Paul Clavette, and maybe a little swelling over that right eye, and the headbutting that the official decided had to be at least talked about may have been the cause of that.
There is a little bit of swelling, and I'm surprised that they're not working on it in the corner. Here was the uppercut underneath. That was a good little left hand right up underneath with Clavette coming in, and Boyd should have been doing that from the first round on. The opportunity was there.
They touch gloves, and here is the final round of the opening bout. And there's Russ's scorecard. You've got it very close.
You can't get any closer than that.
So it's up for grabs, one would think, here in the 6th round and final round of this fight. Clavette trying to get busy again on the inside. He was very good in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Good uppercut there by Boyd coming in.
Good right hand by Boyd, and he hasn't thrown that since maybe the 3rd round on the outside. There it is.
Another
again
good right
underneath.
hand. Yep, you're right.
Keep doubling that guy up, and it's finding the mark.
I think both fighters realizing that with about 2 minutes left in this round, they can kind of let it go a little bit.
Boyd has just got to get busier. He's just not showing that he needs this last round or that he wants this last round. He's got to let his hands go like he's doing there and stop letting Clavette fall in on him and tie him up.
Stephan Boyd trying to improve on an 8-2 record, and Clavette a 10-1-1 record. Missing with the uppercut there was Boyd as Clavette did get inside.
And again, Clavette landing 3 and 4 punches, throwing 3 or 4 punches at a time. not all finding the mark, but certainly out-punching Stephan Boyd here in the last round of this fight.
Under a minute and a half to go in the bout. Two Canadian middleweights, Stephan Boyd of Toronto and Paul Clavette of Brossard, Quebec.
Boyd tried that uppercut again on Clavette coming in, that little short left hand underneath that worked for him in the last round.
Clavette getting inside, but not really throwing anything on the way in, trying to work some body blows. Now gets some action going inside.
And Boyd's just not answering back. I mean, there's just no reason. He has the opportunities, and he's just not answering back. And just from lack of not doing anything to this point, you're going to have to give, I mean, he does something here, you're going to have to give the round to Clavette.
And he pulls Boyd in against the ropes. You can see just about 10 seconds or so left in the sixth and final round. 10 seconds to go in the fight. Wild left just missed by Boyd. And there's the bell to end the opening bout. It will go to a decision, and we will have it for you as Stephan Boyd and Paul Clavette go 6 rounds in the opening bout. Stephan Boyd and Paul Clavette. Russ, how did you have this scored?
It was even going into the last round, Joe, but I had to give the last round to Clavette just on his aggression. I think Boyd was in a position to pull out the last 2 rounds. He won the 5th round on my card. I thought he should have won the 6th, but he just didn't do enough work. I had to go with Clavette on this one, but trust me, this was so close to go either way right now.
And after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. We have a split decision.
There you go. That's how close it is.
Judge Kelly Zonajak scores the bout 60-54 for Clavette. William Boudreau scores the bout, 59-56 for Boyd. Alan Davis scores the bout, 58-56 for the winner by split decision, Clavette.
Paul Clavette, and I think you were pretty accurate in your assessment on how that went.
A little bit of a, it was a close fight. I mean, either way that this fight would have gone, you couldn't have say it was an outright robbery. But I think just on the sheer aggression and the work effort that Clavette put forth, I think squeezed out the victory for him. I don't think you could have turned around and given it to Boyd just because there were so many opportunities that he should have been working and could have been working and did not.
So Paul Clavette follows up his win at the Maurice Richard Arena in Montreal with a victory here at Rama, and a flurry by Clavette in that final round may have been enough to decide the fight.
Just threw more punches, and I think that was the key right here, Joe. I just don't think Boyd did enough, and he had the opportunities. The guy was sat right there in front of him, and he just didn't do it.
So the opening bout here at Casino Rama goes to Paul Clavette in a 6-round split decision.